this year's 28th Annual Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. 1,000 cars, thousands of people, beautiful Chamber of Commerce weathers. You couldn't have asked for more. So with that, we're going to tool down the way and catch up with some of the owners of some unbelievable machinery and equipment here at the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. I'm Scotty Cook for Lake TV, and welcome to the heart of the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Well, of all the people who love the historic Bagnell Dam Strip and the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks, it's this guy, Mr. Mayor Johnny Francisco. Yeah. So good to see you again.
Nice seeing you again.
We just stumbled across you. I just told Andrew we got to find the mayor and have our annual visit with him, and we just stumbled across you sitting there incognito, not bugging anybody.
I don't like to bother anybody. I just kind of just look around here and see all the wonderful people that come down here to this event.
And we've asked you this every single year, but it makes you feel so good to be the mayor of a city and a community when you have beautiful, wonderful, huge gatherings like this.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. This is the second best job I've ever had in my life.
You got to come off the first one then.
Yeah, well, the first one, I was a fireman in Kansas City, Missouri for 32 years. Okay. And I come down here and I fell into the mayor. I'm starting my 10th year.
You got to love that. Talk about the growth and the progress of this thing. Back in the days, it used to be contained out at the high school, and we ran out of room. We got to put it on the strip.
We ran out of room. We had 1,200 cars, I think it was 2 years ago, and we had to cut it back to 1,000 because we just didn't have the room.
You got to love it. I told you I was chomping at the bit, maybe itching to get back down here to the lake, maybe relocate one of these days. You said there's plenty of condos that fit a bachelor's needs just perfectly.
Just for you. Just right. Just fits you petite.
Could I get an extra room for those weekends where we have a weekend at Bernie's? I can invite the mayor over.
Well, I can't say.
Hey, we always so greatly appreciate your time, and it's a blessing to see you as always. And I'm going to speak probably for so many people in this community. They so appreciate what you do.
Well, I tell you what, I love it. I love it. I wouldn't want to live anyplace else.
Mayor Johnny Francisco here at the historic Bagnell Dam Strip, the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Peyton. And I'm Becca.
And we're the Millers, and we love the Bagnell Dam Strip.
Well, St. Louis, Missouri's Barb Ross and Larry Balch here at the beautiful Bagnell Dam Strip, the Lake of the Ozarks. Couple of beautiful hot rods behind us. First off, we will start with yours. Okay. An unbelievably amazing Beach Boys themed hot rod. You gotta love it, with a guitar to boot.
Yeah, it's a different piece for sure.
Tell us about it. The folks are going to get a good shot of the back end of that thing with the Beach Boys autograph and all.
Yeah, they're all original autographs. Trailer I built out of some old bed railing and sheet metal. Just had some time, thought, well, I'll build something different. The car had been out 37 years, been driving it all over, toured 2.5 years with them. I was a decoy. I come in one way, they come in another. So I know them all real personally. And actually, Dennis Wilson, I didn't get his signature on it before I got it done. So I've been talking to his son, Scott. And Scott's coming down sometime from Virginia to sign the card, and he'll be the last signature on it.
That's awesome. These two are an amazing story. Used to be a couple. They parted. Now they're back together. Larry's hot rod behind us was sitting in storage, and as you got back together, Barb, being an upholstery lady, said we got to get some upholstery redone in this Beach Boys mobile.
This is very true.
Tell us about your reunion and how everything came along.
Reunion, well, we've seen each other's shows off and on for years, and caught him on Facebook, friended him. About 2 months later, we got together. 2.5 years down the road, we're still together. We will be together forever.
Yes, we will.
I love it. I love it. Tell us about your beautiful car behind us.
This is a 36 Ford four-door sedan. I've owned it for about 15 years. Bought it from a great friend. It was already painted, but then I tore it apart, redid the interior, put new wheels and tires, changed the motor, and I've been driving it about 15 years.
Hot rod enthusiasts, they love doing their car shows. They love traveling, but have not been here to the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals for about 25 years, so welcome back. Things have changed, haven't they?
I'll tell you what, it's gotten better and better. I mean, I remember having it in a parking lot, and this is a whole lot better. The people here are just awesome. Awesome people.
Well, you guys have a great perch. Couldn't ask for better Chamber of Commerce weather here this weekend. We appreciate you guys spending a little time with us on Lake TV.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. We appreciate the invite.
Absolutely.
It was great.
I'm Brady, and this is my mom.
Hi, I'm Stacy with Classic Kids Cool 102.7, and we love the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks.
We caught up with Mr. Francis Argabright from the state of Kansas, Waterville, Kansas, to be precise, with probably the only Hennessy supercharged Corvette up and down this strip this weekend.
I think that's true.
We saw you got a big picture there in the picture window, and it's a picture of your car roasting the tires out. And I'm thinking, did we have a professional hired driver, or is that you?
Well, that's me, but Spearfish, South Dakota has a huge Corvette only show. It's a week-long deal, and they have drag racing and autocross, and I entered in the drag racing. I didn't win it, but I got second. So had a good time and have a picture of the car, smoking the tires, and just living the dream.
Moving up and down along the historic Bagnell Dam Strip here in the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and caught up with a fella from Boone County, Missouri, Hallsville, Missouri, Mr. Richard Westlake. So glad to have you here at the Magic Dragon. Tell us about this beautiful Z28.
What I've got is a 69.5 Z28, which is actually classified as a 70. 396 big block, Trans Am design style car. It's running a 12-bolt 356 Positrack rear end, 4.25 horse, 396 big block.
Wow. You said you've been coming down here since the Magic Dragon began.
Yeah. When it used to be held out at the high school.
That was back in dinosaur days.
Yeah,
and
that's dinosaur days.
They ran out of room and had to come down here. Tell us about your thoughts about the progress and how much this thing has blown up so big.
Oh, I tell you what, this has become one of the biggest shows that I've ever attended as far as small locals.
Well, cameraman Andrew and I were tooling up and down the Bagnell Dam Strip, and we thought the perfect vehicle for a unique show car spotlight, brought to you by Ozark Barge and Dock Service and Henchman Indy Racewear. This is Elmo and Sue Fritchie from Litchfield, Illinois, and you all have one of the more unique vehicles here at the Bagnell Dam Strip. We didn't even know we had a class for it.
That's right. When I called down here, they told me they never had one here before, and she wasn't sure whether I could bring it, but she checked with the chairman, and he said that would be fine. So we're here.
You had to come back. You are a past Mayor's Choice champion here in a different division. They wanted you to bring your PT Cruiser, but no, let's bring our SSR.
Right, that's what we decided. We had brought the PT for 4 years, so we decided to change and bring a different one.
Wonderful. So you and Elmo have been coming down here 4 previous years. This is your 5th year. This is one of the more unique hot rod shows that you come to.
Yes, it is. I enjoy this one. A lot of cars, a whole lot of cars.
So you guys, tell us about your vehicle here. A lot of people like to load their hot rods up and transport them, and you and Sue think, what the heck, we might as well just get good use out of it.
Yeah.
You all drive everywhere.
Drive it everywhere. And also our PT, we drive it everywhere. Yeah.
So we just learned 59 years of marital bliss. I know somewhere along the way of all these car shows you've gone to, there's got to be a special memory that might stick out.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all those years.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody?
A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them.
One in particular?
Well, we had a good friend that also had a PT Cruiser, and he passed away several years ago with cancer, and they had a memorial for him. And we were out in Indiana, I think it was, and they were giving out an award for him.
Wonderful.
And I won that award, and it was one of the special ones.
Hi, I'm Tabitha, and I love the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks.
A beautiful day on the Bagnell Dam Strip, beautiful hot rods, and, oh, by the way, we run into some fellas from our capital city, Mr. Keith Bias. And what's your name, my friend?
Kenny Cheatham.
Mr. Kenny Cheatham. And Keith is the pilot. Kenny is the co-pilot. And these two, we had to stop and talk to them, let alone about the hot rod, but about the tandem here. This is quite the tandem. To see you guys rolling down the highway, I bet you all get tons of love.
A lot of love.
For real? Any memorable stories from being the shotgun?
Oh, well.
Any that you can tell on the air?
Well, sometimes we have a hell of a time getting this big body inside this little bitty car. But we figured out a way over the last 3 years.
So Keith probably got a pry board to just kind of wedge you in there. Tell us about your hot rod, an unbelievable machine, yellow as a banana could be.
Yeah, it's a 1931 Ford Model A coupe. It's got a Chevy-powered blown small block, and I've had it about 4 years, and I've only done about half the work myself. It was pretty much done when I bought it, and it is a fun toy.
Indeed, it seems like it would be silliest question in the world, but it's always good to hear. This, your 4th trip to the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals. What keeps bringing you back?
The people.
Indeed.
Love everybody down here.
You got to love the growth of this thing over the last few years. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, actually, you're right. I've seen new cars every year. There's always something new.
I'm Lacey.
And I'm Lexi.
And we love the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks.
No, this is not Herman Munster, but this is our old friend, Mr. Harley Alcox from the state of Iowa, Nevada, Iowa to be precise. And
that's right.
You were here at the Magic Dragon Street Meet with your beautiful T-Bucket Ford. Tell us about it.
It's a car that I built in 1992, pretty much from the ground up. There's not too many nuts and bolts on there I don't know, and we've been driving it ever since, and it's sitting here right now with 321,000 miles on it. So,
how about that?
So it's fun. We like to go to car shows and show off and enjoy the heck out of it.
Tell us about that beautiful flame job on it. That's pretty doggone trick for a T-Bucket.
I laid that flame out and painted that. It's been on there for about 7 years now, but I've had to do some patch-up work on it. But pretty much everything but stitching the interior I've done myself. So it's a love. I just love to do that kind of stuff. So
how many years have you guys been making it to the Magic Dragon?
This is the first time we've been down here for about 10 years. We was back here in I think the late 90s, and then things kind of changed a little bit. But we had some people say, "Hey, we're going down to the Magic Dragon. You want to come along?" And I'm not retired yet, but I said, "Well, why not? I might as well go and enjoy the weather." So
good that you say that, because 10 years ago, this thing has grown leaps and bounds in that time span.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a good, fun place to come to, and it's not that far of a drive for us, 300-400 miles, big deal.
Funny you say, yeah. His name's Harley. He rides Harleys. He works on Harleys. And, by the way, he's roasted off about 15 sets of Hoosier tires off the rear end of this thing.
Yeah, that's what the fun of it is right there. I do a little quarter-mile drag racing with it, too, and I managed to get in 11s with it, so I have a good time.
I love it. I know she's your baby, and the sticker down here on the side panel says, yes, it's fast. No, you can't drive it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the wife has ridden with me almost all the miles that are on this car. Yeah, I have a few, bruised ribs from time to time because road rage is not always a big deal for me, but it happens. So.
Well, I tell you, I have a special place in my heart for wonderful folks in the great state of Iowa, and it was greatly my pleasure to meet you. And, hey, before we cut to this interview, he said, self-proclaimed, he's the best-looking guy on the strip this weekend.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful spring day here on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip, working up and down this strip for the 28th annual Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals. And these fine folks from Oak Grove, Missouri have a beautiful SS Chevelle. State your name first and tell us about that vehicle.
Norval Green, and it's a 68 Chevelle SS. It's a true SS. It's a 138 VIN number.
And what you can take most pride in is that you built this sucker from the ground up. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, sir, I did. It took me 3 years to build. I took it, got it back home, and took it all the way down the ground and brought her back.
A lot of blood, sweat, tears, greasy knuckles, and a little bit of money, but you sure do have a beautiful piece.
Thank you, sir. It took a lot of pain.
Indeed, indeed. And not that we should transition on that note with pain, but this is not a pain. This is Norval's beautiful wife, Janet, and tell us about your role and your involvement in this beautiful hot rod.
I help him keep it clean.
Right. And you don't get anywhere near the tool chest. You just keep the wipes and the armor all nearby.
That's right.
Good Lord blessed us with amazing Chamber of Commerce weather this weekend.
It's beautiful.
Are you, so you guys, we approached you, you guys were just relaxing in the sun here, but normally what happens is Papa enjoys the sun and enjoys to meet and greet with all the hot rod enthusiasts, and then eventually Mom snags a card and she gets up and down the strip. Is that how that normally works?
Shopping.
She beat us to the punch. She was already on top of it. From right down the road in Eldon, Missouri, Mr. Dick Bechtel with this Chevrolet Master 85, a 1939.
Yes.
This sure is a beauty, a plum beauty.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell us about your experiences here thus far this year at the Magic Dragon Street Meet. So many people. The streets are filling up more and more, and you look like, well, when we run up on you, you look like you're just, you couldn't be enjoying this anymore.
I'm enjoying it. It's a good show.
How many years you been coming down?
This is my 4th year. Yeah,
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Tell us about your old hot rod behind us. Did you obtain it? Did you build it?
Well, I bought it in '78. I played with it for years thinking I was restoring it. Finally, I decided I'd never get it done, so I took it to some guys and had them finish it up for me. So we've had it now. We've been showing it 4 years.
That's so funny. That's always how it works.
Yeah.
You think, I'll just roll up my
Right.
sleeves. I'm going to get my knuckles greasy, and we'll see if we can get this thing back. And then finally, you throw your hands in the air, and then you decide, well, I better just go get into the bank account and do it right.
Right. Every time I'd work on the door, it was like you could still see all that little stuff. You know, it's like I had to quit.
Right. Well, hey, as long as, you know, it's okay to pedal and spend a little bit of money, but you got to leave a little bit for the adult beverage fund when you're.
I don't think they left me with much.
No. Well, hey, we are so glad to visit with you. We appreciate you being on Lake TV, and behave yourself while you're down here today.
Okay, we'll do. Appreciate it.
Mr. Dick Bechtel.
My name's Lauren, and I love Lake TV.
Well, many beautiful pieces of machinery up and down this historic Bagnell Dam Strip, but not many as clean and as beautiful as these two Chevys right behind us. Mr. Bob and Pam Ruby from St. Louis, Missouri, and you're going to have to help me with the K9's names.
This is Bandit Ruby, and that's Charlie Ruby. They go to every car show because they own the cars.
We're so glad to have you guys here this year. Their first visit here to the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals, and you've got some pretty amazing stories about both of these pieces of machinery. You built both from the ground up.
It took about a year on each one, and the black one behind us is actually a clone of what they call the Black Widow, a 57 Chevy 150. Actually, it was the cheapest Chevrolet that GM built, and it came with no radio, no heater, no nothing. Engine, transmission, that was it. They made 7 of them. 7 of them went from Detroit to Atlanta, Georgia to get roll bars put in them and different suspension, and 2 of them had fuel injection. And they put the fuel injection on, took them down to Daytona for the race in '57. And NASCAR would not let them race because it had to have a carburetor. So they pulled the carburetor off, or pulled the fuel injection off, put a carburetor on it. Buck Baker, one of the NASCAR drivers, actually won the race with the car. It was car number 47, and he actually won the national championship that year with that particular car. There's only 1 car left out of the 7, and it's in Richard Childress's museum in South Carolina.
Quite the NASCAR affiliation, and I know that you, again, are so very proud of both of them. Tell us about the beautiful cherry red 55.
Okay, the 55 was pretty bad when I got it. It had to have floors put in it and fenders and everything. The only thing original on the car is the roof. Everything else is brand new. It's got a different frame under it, a frame called Progressive, and it's got an LS1 engine in it, which is a Corvette aluminum engine, and then it's got a supercharger on it. It's old school with a Muncie 4-speed, but underneath of it is all 96 Corvette, independent suspension. And it's got air conditioning and power steering, power windows. It's all leather interior. It's a pretty nice car.
Wonderful. They're both very beautiful. That's a wonderful thing, man. You and Pam have a wonderful time here this weekend, and per our conversation before our interview, I think it is true that maybe TV will make you look about 10 years younger, you think?
Better.
You're in trouble.
My name is Johnny Franciscos, and I love Bagnell Dam Strip, and I love Lake of the Ozarks. We have a lot of car shows down here. We have motorcycle shows. We love it. We just love it.
Well, we have run into and come up with two of the most important people of this Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals. Ms. Casey Cloak with the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Bert Westbrook, the lead chair of the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals. First of all, the weather gods blessed us this weekend.
We got very lucky. I've been on my best behavior for months.
For sure. I know what an unbelievable task it is to get this thing going, and it takes so many people to make it happen.
It takes 110 volunteers to make this thing run smooth, and we were very fortunate to get those volunteers year after year, so it's a huge success.
And you were telling me about that checklist before we started this. You just sit there and just thumb through your checklist one at a time.
7-page checklist, yeah.
Get them all checked off?
And it's in small font, by the way. I did.
You've got to love this year's turnout.
Love it. It's exciting. Everybody keeps talking about it's the biggest crowd they've had in a long time. So I don't know the facts there, but I'm going with it, and everybody's happy, so that's all that matters in my book.
Well, in years past, the weather guys have kind of maybe dampered this situation, cooler temperatures, but this year the crowd is up. The car count is where it needs to be. They capped it off at 1,000. And Bert, you can tell us about that. We ran out of room years back, and we had to bring it down here to the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. And what more perfect, beautiful venue than this historic strip could we ask for?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the weather's great. We have just enough wind to keep it cool. Sun's out. We don't have any snow this year. You're right, that's good. But the vendors and the clientele, everything we have is great. There is nothing wrong with this family atmosphere. This is a great place to have fun.
So it's about ready to get busy for both of you here before long. Multiple classes, 1,000 cars. We've got to do a little judging here coming up.
We will have judging tomorrow. Mainly the judging will be tomorrow. There is a few plaques being handed out today as far as choice awards, but the main judging is tomorrow. So we have a venue of people who actually come here just put their car in the car show, and then we also have people that actually put their car in the car show to judge.
Talk about the growth of this thing. It's just getting bigger and bigger every year.
Well, Casey and I, we have predecessors that have stamped the way for us to have fun. So we come here with all the volunteers, all the support, and all the other venues that are here. It's laid out for us. We have to work hard, but if it wasn't for everything before, our job wouldn't be this easy.
Well, I'll speak on behalf of both of them. If you've never been here to the Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals, you got to put it on the bucket list. Mr. Bert Westbrook, Miss Casey Cloak, we so appreciate your all's time once again this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as we told you in the open, 1,000 hot rods, 10,000 people, beautiful weather. It's been an amazing journey this year up and down the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. We appreciate you taking a little time and enjoying that journey with us. Next year, the 29th annual Magic Dragon Street Meet Nationals. We'll see you right back here next year.